Welcome, my name is Mark Zathy, Technical Director of the Michigan Rush. I'd like to invite you to take part in this presentation. The objective of this presentation is to be used as an educational tool for our players and parents. And what we want to do here is give a little bit of background on our staff, our organizational infrastructure, our programming opportunities for players within Michigan Rush, as well as opportunities within Rush Soccer. Before we go any further, I'd like to give a special thanks to Loren, our current Northville branch U8 through U10 Director of Coaching. He has spent an awful lot of time putting together these PowerPoint slides to help communicate the information to our membership. In this slide, we have our Rush mission statement that guides our organization. Rush Soccer is committed to providing an unparalleled soccer experience for all who have interest in the game. Rush Soccer promotes the development of character, the electricity of competition, and the importance of love for the game. We accept responsibility of teaching life lessons to our athletes to further their overall growth of the game. We believe that all players should be afforded an equal opportunity to explore their potential and participate. We are committed to making soccer a pleasant, safe, and rewarding experience for everyone involved, regardless of their social status or abilities. In addition to the player exchange opportunities, whether it's for college showcases or our local leagues with our younger players and training opportunities, I wanted to highlight a critical value that we have in the Rush, and that's the quality of our coaches and the quality of coaching our players receive. And there is no doubt, being a community club, we are limited in our access to coaches that we know in our local network and our life experience and those of our soccer colleagues. To be in an organization such as the Rush that's so expansive, our network is exponentially larger, which certainly helps us maintain and improve the quality of our coaching for our players here locally. As we turn our attention towards the map of the United States, we notice the stars, which are to be used as symbolism for each partner branch within Rush Soccer in the various states. When we're looking at this map, one program I would like to highlight is a player exchange program, and there's twofold here, one on a micro level and one on a macro level. The micro level, pretty simple, with the Downriver branch, the Jackson branch, the Hamburg branch, the Lansing branch, and the Northville branch. We have the ability to train our players beyond the team training for the go-getters who have a stronger appetite to be on the ball. So whether it's a player that wants to get involved in team training, maybe a goalkeeper wants to do extra goalkeeper training, between the various branches, if the parents and players are willing to do the commute, we can certainly offer the product. So that highlights the micro level. I'd like to take a moment here to highlight the macro level view of the player exchange program here. And that is having to do with a specific demographic. For the most part, it's our older high school age boys and girls, specifically our 16s and 17s and even our U18s in the fall and the winter time. And that is this college advisory program. One of the mechanics of the program is to get our players to college showcase tournaments. And at these tournaments, they're essentially auditioning for college coaches. So the individual player performance is certainly more important than the team performance. And at these college showcase tournaments, the college coaches are there looking for players to recruit into their program. So what we have in our club is certainly an array of interest level and ability level, and we want to do as good of a job as possible to help open doors and opportunities for our players to play college soccer. So the scenario that's becoming a trend here is, in addition to our normal college showcase diet for our older teams, we have players in each team who have a stronger appetite than the rest of the team to go through more college showcase tournaments. So one avenue we've pursued actually that has helped us is to solicit guests from other states to complement a core group of interested players on our teams to go to additional showcase events. Another avenue that we're opening for our players through the vehicle of Rush Soccer here is to send individual players and groups of players with Rush branches from other states to other college showcase tournaments. So from a macro view, we have this relationship and this network for player exchange that's happening all across the country, and specifically for the college advisory program, it's been a great opportunity for players in our club, and I think it's going to become more and more of a trend nationwide as the Rush looks to do the best job that it can in placing players into various college soccer programs. So on this next slide, we have who we are as a heading, and this is about Rush Soccer being formed in '02 under the leadership of the then technical director, Tim Schultz, who's now serving as president and CEO of Rush Soccer. And Colorado essentially wanted to broaden the scope of its coaching methodology, expand the catchment area, the number of players under Rush Soccer, as well as share its player development model, and in addition to that, its administrative methodologies and best practices at that time to a national level, and now it's actually a global level. So certainly a movement, no doubt about it. And on a local level here in 2006 inside Michigan, after many months of discussions with the Northville Soccer Association board and key members of staff and membership, as well as the Rush Soccer folks, predominantly Andrew Kummer and Tim Schultz, we agreed to a partnership with Rush Soccer and Northville Soccer Association, which is acting as Michigan Rush. One common question from the membership has been, why did Rush Soccer choose to expand? Why would Rush Soccer share all of its intellectual property and trademark material for the benefit of other players in other states versus retaining the information for the benefit of players in Colorado only? And the answer to that has been sort of whispered, so to speak, thus far in our area anyway, and that is the risk of sounding arrogant or pompous. And the dream of the Rush is to create a pro team on the men's side and a pro team on the women's side. And hopefully, if we do our job and develop players, and other states and other branches do their jobs and develop players, and as a partnership we work to develop players with the quote-unquote the Rush way, we would have potentially 50% of the pro roster as quote-unquote Rush players who came up through the Rush system, whether they're from a partner in Africa or Michigan or Colorado or what have you, to develop a competitive professional level roster with a certain percentage of those players being developed by our staff and our friends and colleagues and mentors and in the game through our other partner branches. So this is the dream, and part of that reality is to expand the player pool, to cast a wide enough net, to have a broad enough player development pyramid where it is realistic to develop players from a population that will, in various degrees of success, players get to the top of the pyramid and be professionals. So one of the profound things that was instilled upon me was, in early discussions about a potential relationship, was Tim's comments that in most American youth soccer clubs, if you have a son or daughter that is a potential national team player, that person plays in a certain club in a metro area, Club XYZ. And if there's another sibling in that family that's going to be a varsity high school player, that player may or may not play in that same elite youth club. That player will probably play in a different club. Okay, and if, God forbid, a family has a gifted child with special needs, that player would certainly play in a different club, a third club. It is rare for a youth club to be able to cater to all three children of the analogy: the special needs child, the pretty good athlete who would represent his or her high school program, as well as a child who would potentially be a national team player. Can all those three kids play in the same club? And Tim's objective with the Rush and its programming is to offer all those programs and more. So every player in a family, every player in a metro area could play for the same club. Now they may participate in different levels of programming, but all have the same opportunity. And that this idea of a full service club was certainly a message that was well beyond us at Northville at the time, and we could maybe do it on our own if we were forward thinking enough and hardworking enough and maybe even arrogant enough, but certainly collaborating into a partnership with the Rush think tank, the Rush mothership, as I like to say tongue in cheek, was a quicker way to benefit our players, was a more thorough way to give our players a better experience. So the Rush Soccer offers the buffet and the resources, and then it's up to us on a local level to maximize resources that we have access to and do our best to develop players. So we certainly do not offer every program here in Michigan that's available, and we are limited by our own resources in terms of labor and economics and so on and so forth, just like every other club has to deal with. But we are doing our best. We are much better than we were in 06, and we expect in 2014 to be much better than we are now. And we know there's ups and downs along the way, but we are better at our jobs, and we are better at serving players because of the Rush partnership, and we realize it's our responsibility to help the Rush become a better organization. So it's living and breathing. It is a movement, and it's been a good journey so far.